fine. I'll trade when I get home. And,
for it to be the first thing people comment on.
Well, it was a huge change, though. You know,
I shaved my beard. It's not that big of a deal.
you shaved your beard and had a. I've never seen you with a mustache.
You're crazy.
No, I'm quite sane, actually. I've never seen you with
I don't
just
know.
a
Let me
mustache.
talk to your doctor.
I'm not crazy. I've been tested. All right.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I think I mean, if I could do it, I can't. I have like it would be the Spaniard ones when you got the sides going and the middle's all bare. That's what I have when I try to grow mine out. It doesn't. It's not all bushy.
Why is that
and
a Spaniard
full.
one?
Because that's what you see like old cartoons with the Spaniards. That's what you would see.
What cartoons did you watch as a child?
The old ones with the Spaniards, obviously.
Oh, go figure.
Like the conquistadors and stuff like that. That's what they would have.
You had the weirdest childhood.
Yeah, a little bit. But
Yeah.
it looks good. I wish I could do that, but mine is not. Doesn't grow in that full.
Just don't, because then when you shave it, no one's going to like it. So just don't worry about it. We have a cool show for you guys today. We have a lot of things to cover and not a lot of time to cover it in. We have a bunch of Disney news to go over. We have feedback to do. We have all sorts of stuff. Bev just came back from a trip to Disneyland, so we want to talk with her a little bit about her trip and what things that she saw. She experienced the Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters ride, which if you have listened to the new Disney news YouTube video or whatever, everyone loves it. So we'll find out if everyone really loves it. Everyone meaning Bev. I don't think I'll love it. And then we have two guests in the studio, Mickey and Billy. Right? I got your names right? Nice. See, already things are looking up for me. And these people got married in Disneyland. They had a Disney wedding, but it was kind of, I think, a little bit different than what Disney normally does with weddings. This is a Haunted Mansion-themed wedding, which instantly I was like, yes, let's have these people in. Let's talk about their wedding. So if you guys out there in podcast land are thinking about getting married at the Disney resort, this would be a cool show for you. And if not, it'll still be a cool show for you. So what do you think? Let's jump into it. Find us iTunes, radio, tune in, whatever. Rate us on iTunes. Do the things that you need to do. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you have feedback, that goes to Taryn. Any compliments, go to Terrence. You can say hi.
Hi.
To Bev.
Sorry.
And you can send whatever else you want to Jason at earsup-podcast.com. We do have stuff on our blog. I don't know what's new on our blog. Nothing really.
Nothing.
In a while.
I have to do the Bambi.
Did you do Bambi?
You do have to do Bambi.
I have not done it, and I have not watched it.
Huh.
And
this is your Fantasia, isn't it?
No. So I will do it. I'm going to do this. But the problem is,
I've said that before too.
It's so sad. It is just so sad, and I can't find a time where I'm in a good enough mood where I can sit down and it won't affect me. Like, I don't want to start sobbing and have my kids laughing at me and stuff like that. So I'm trying to build myself up.
And you think that you're sane?
I am. I have my, I got my little quirks. Yes.
You can't sob at a cartoon made in the 30s.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
It's sad.
When I was much less emotionally stable than I am now, and I was
gets
like, all right.
blasted.
But you don't see it. It's not like blood spray. It's not like an
know
episode of Walking Dead where
That's
someone
true.
comes and hacks her head off and wears it around or whatever.
That's going to be the remake.
Oh,
They're
man,
remaking all the Disney movies. I'm telling you, man.
That'd be kind of
It's gonna be
amazing.
the reboot.
That would be kind of amazing.
It wouldn't be
Zombie
bad at all.
Bambi?
Zambi.
You know, I've
Yes.
always so I wrote a screenplay once, and it was a zombie movie screenplay, and it was like it had something that I thought I've never seen in a zombie movie before, and that's zombie animals. Zombie animals. I've never seen where a zombie squirrel can bite a man, and that man is zombie man now.
I've seen rabid dogs, but I've never seen zombie animals.
You've seen a zombie? Yeah, I've never seen a zombie animal.
You're right. You're right.
I thought it was super interesting and completely awesome, and no one else cared about it, much like everything I do. And now I just saw a trailer for. Are you with me? Should we close the blind?
No, I can't close the blinds.
All
It's
right.
fine.
A trailer for a movie about zombie animals.
You missed the boat.
I missed the boat. Now it's not new anymore. Now anybody reads the script, they're like, you totally ripped this off from, Animals Gone Zombie or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it was called.
I really hope that's the name of the movie.
So do I. You can support Ears Up, great content like this, via our Amazon link. Just do your Amazon shopping from our website. You get a little bit of, you don't get anything. You get your product. We get a little bit of cut of that, and no extra cost to you, and it helps us out a lot. You can also become a reoccurring or a one-time donor. Those help out a lot as well. If you really want to help, go buy Cov Ears. Go to getcovears.com, or you can go to churroshirt.com. Excuse me, I'm burping. Excuse me. Kids, remember your manners, okay? It's a tip from Uncle Jason.
You have a lot of tips for kids tonight.
I have a lot of tips for kids tonight,
Yeah.
dude. That's the second. I'm gonna write a book.
Oh, good.
With
Yeah.
all two of them.
All to it. Well,
Yes.
so far,
A pamphlet,
It'll
maybe.
be well,
Yeah.
look, it's growing. It's growing. We have our churro shirts there. You can also you go to TeePublic and search Ears Up Podcast, all one word, and then you can get our churro shirt and our brand new turkey leg shirt, which is pretty cool. But we actually sold our first turkey leg shirt the other day.
Cool.
It should be at my house in about 3 weeks. So that's cool. They didn't really seem to catch fire like the churro shirts did, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's textiles, dude. That's fashion, right?
It is.
That's fashion.
Like-
Sometimes your spring line doesn't launch as fast as your winter line.
Yeah, whatever you say.
You know what I mean? You know?
I had a turkey leg today.
You had a turkey leg today?
I did
And-
from the farmer's market. It's not as good as Disneyland's.
It wasn't the.
It can't be.
Quite gamey.
Gamey. What does that even mean?
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
but I
know
feel like
either.
it was the right word to use.
Okay. Do me a favor. I don't know what's going on, but I think you need to speak up a little bit, Bev.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
How about this?
Whoa.
Wow. That's great. That's great. I don't know what's going on. Every time I come in this friggin' studio, the settings have changed.
I know.
I just need to, whatever. I don't know what I need to do. Also, you can help support our friend Lulu. You go to tpublic.com and search Lulu_gumshoe. Well, apparently, if you search Beer Me, it doesn't really work. We should put that on our site. I bought one of her shirts, too.
Nice. I want to get that one
A
too.
little slumped over beer bottle. I think it's cute. All right, Taryn, do we have any feedback?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
The first one is from Neil. Hey, Taryn, Bev, Jason, and Terrence.
Yeah, Taryn's got last billing.
It's Neil, that guy that almost crashed your wedding proposal in front of the castle. Sorry it took so long to finally email all of you.
Oh, Dr. Neil.
Like, nothing's working. Yeah, Dr. Neil. I'm so happy I got to meet Taryn, Bev, and Jason a year ago at Carthay right after the proposal. It was so much fun to just chill with you guys, have a few drinks, and just chat. Congrats again. Terrence, I hope I get a chance to meet you whenever you come down here. Just wanted to say I absolutely love the podcast, and you are all my favorite and honestly best Disney historians.
Huh?
Kind of made me laugh. Thank you. Keep up the great work. Hope to see you guys in the parks again. He also says, I'm a D23 member. Yes, I know you hate those chipmunks, Jason.
I do. I do. Well, they were fine when they looked like Magnum PI and MacGyver or whatever. You know what I mean?
He says, I've been to the expo this past year, which was awesome. But more importantly, I got to attend the D23 Disney Animation Tour about 2 weeks ago, which included a tour of Walt's office, his untouched office. And so he basically included a link of like 60 photos or something like that of his tour. It's really cool. And I think we're gonna check with him, but I think we're gonna post a few of them on the blog when we post this.
Cool.
That's good.
There's some good pics in there.
Awesome. Thanks, Neil.
It's Dr. Neil.
And then the next one is feedback from me. I just actually wanted to give a shout out to a couple of folks that are part of our circle. Miles, who we interviewed back in October about his 3D modeling of the 60th anniversary castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just had a baby this week.
Oh,
Congrats,
awesome.
Miles.
Wanted to say congratulations to him. And Edward, whose feedback we read, I think, on the last show, he had asked us about how to pop the question. And, well, he did it. And
Hey,
she
better
said
luck.
yes.
I was going to say better luck next time. So,
All right, two people making big mistakes.
hey,
All right.
hey.
I'm just kidding. Congratulations to everybody.
Yeah, and he ended up having the Disneyland photographers take photos of them, and they were kind of just posing. And she's like, "Okay, now hug. Okay." now do this, and then she was like, oh, is there any other poses that you guys want to do? And then that's when he got down on one knee. So it was very cute.
What was his name again?
Edward.
Edward. Make sure to post a picture of it. We were wondering
yeah.
where you're going to do it, so post a picture to the page.
Oh, he actually tagged us in his Instagram post.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't.
Where did they end up doing it? In front of the castle?
In front of the castle.
Okay. Perfect. I mean, that's just where you do it, man.
Good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he actually tagged us pretty much right after it happened.
Nice.
So that was exciting.
I'm so happy.
We
I'm
were
so
part
happy.
of it.
Hold on for a second. I got to tag this.
Yeah.
I'm going to tag yours up.
And that's it. That's it for feedback right
All
now.
right. Perfect. All right, Bev. How was Disneyland, bro?
It was great.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So now.
I feel like Disneyland has a new, there's a new level of not busy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, we've talked about that before
There's
on
a
the
new
show.
standard.
Yeah, the standard is not like the way it used to be.
Right,
It's
right.
now. So I'm working on like some sort of blog post. I don't know what I'm working on, but I'm just writing a bunch of weird stuff down. And I think like not busy went from a 5 to a 7. It's like
Right.
7 is the baseline. No matter what, it'll never be less busy than a 7.
Oh,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. So when it's
Exactly.
packed, it's more packed than it used to be.
So I've been there. I was there, let's say, a year ago, and we were there for 5 days. And I think the only reason I was able to hang for 5 days straight in Disneyland was because it was a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one there. You basically walked onto every line. This trip, we stayed for three and a half days.
Yeah.
And even though the same app I used to gauge crowds said that it was a quote-unquote ghost town, it was not a ghost town. It was a web of lies.
There were no ghosts anywhere.
There were 0 ghosts in that town.
What was going on? Because
Uh,
you sent us a photo.
So that was Mother's Day, and it was the same day they had the Tinkerbell half marathon. So I was geared up and ready for it to just be a crap show.
Right.
Mhm.
It was not. It was pretty empty. That was the emptiest day there was.
Okay.
And I think now that was Mother's Day. Maybe people didn't go to Disneyland because it was Mother's Day.
Mhm.
I just assumed it would be bad.
Who has a race on Mother's Day? I feel like that's a terrible idea.
You're right. Our friend Push is in a race coming up, and it's being held the weekend of in September. Yeah, Labor Day.
That doesn't make any sense.
Terrible. Terrible.
Bad planning.
Yeah, it is.
Right. I don't remember where I was going with that, but it was real busy.
Crowds.
Yeah, except
Right.
for Mother's Day.
Except for Mother's Day. Okay.
But I think that's where I was going. So Saturday and Sunday, the SoCal annual passes were blocked out.
Okay.
So Monday through Friday, they were eligible.
Mhm.
There was a lot more people in there. I think they were all locals.
Was there a certain time that they started hitting?
Yes, it was right around 12,
Really?
and right around 7 is when
Doesn't
it started
anybody
to
work
clear
in
out.
SoCal?
Apparently, nobody works, and also nobody sends their children to school.
Really?
It's a thing.
Really?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, how was Luigi's?
Right.
This is what I really want to know.
Okay, so Luigi's.
Yeah.
Let me just direct quote my father-in-law.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is that new ride. Father-in-law. Oh, we should ride it. We get in line and we're watching the ride go. We should have watched this ride before we got in line.
Oh no.
So we get on the ride.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It looks very smooth and elegant because the cars
really
are
does.
dancing.
Yeah.
Not.
No?
It's super jerky and
Oh.
sort of tosses you around and.
Oh, fun.
But I
Neck
wouldn't
injuries.
say it's fun.
No.
But I wouldn't say it's not fun either. It was a very weird. I enjoy Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. I think that's a fun ride. This was not fun like that. It was just I won't ride this ride again.
If it's
I've done
not-
it and it's done.
If it's not even as fun as Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, which is not to me was the most boring ride aside from Charlie's Choo Choo Train or whatever that caterpillar's name is.
Heimlich's, yeah.
Heimlich's Choo Choo
Yeah.
Train.
Oh my gosh, my kid loves that ride.
I thought that was more interesting than Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
Oh no, I like
Yeah.
I like Mater's Junkyard.
Well, you're a simple girl with simple tastes.
You're rude.
I know. Okay, so you thought that it was because we were bagging on it when we watched a little video a couple months ago.
Yeah, so totally fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually re-listened to that episode on the drive home yesterday, and I
Yeah.
was just like, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So a 1 out of 10. What do you give it on the Bev Payne scale?
I would say it's a solid 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? A 4?
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't great. Your kids are gonna love it.
What made it a 4 then? Because it sounds like it would be like a negative 13 the way you're
I didn't
describing
know that
it.
I could go negative.
Yeah, you can go
But
negative.
no,
This is your
because-
scale. You can do whatever you want,
because it
dude.
was still-
You can invent a whole like range of numbers.
I don't like talking in circles, so I'm very torn because
Mm-hmm.
I can understand the concept of the fun, but I didn't experience it.
It's very theoretical fun.
And maybe that's just personal. Maybe that's
Yeah.
just me. Maybe
Did
other
it
people
seem
really
like other
it.
people were having fun when you were on it?
Yeah, what was the general perception of
So
that?
there are different. So what I gauged going through and watching is
Yeah.
they played about 6 songs, and each song is a different dance.
Okay.
And some of them looked more fun than others.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe I got a dud.
Got the foxtrot or something.
And they all sort of do this like crisscrossy whatever thing, and it's all very, very pretty and sort of in line and good.
Yeah, you're line dancing.
And then at the very end,
Right.
they all for every dance they spin around in a circle like 7 times.
Okay.
And then it's
To
done.
me, that would be the most fun.
Is the spinning part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the whole
No,
thing.
because the fun part was, or the what could be considered fun part was when they're going,
To people
they're
who could
dancing,
consider
and then
fun.
they sort of like just change directions. So
Yeah.
it's like you don't know where it's gonna go. So
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
that sort of thing going on. But
Okay.
The trackless technology does sound amazing.
It sounds
does.
cool.
It
So
sounds
it's,
really
it's
neat.
so cool. It's actually it's so cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think they're gonna run into each other, but it's just perfectly synchronized.
Would it be better as like a show instead of a ride?
No,
Oh.
I
Still
don't
not
know
that
if
good to
there's.
watch.
I think they just filled. They had it. They had an idea. They had a space to put said idea, and they did it.
I don't know how we get
And I don't want to come across
Mater's
as
junkyard, not Mater's, the Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters,
Roadsters.
but China gets Tron.
That,
Yeah.
I mean, are you
That looks
serious
so
right now,
amazing.
dude? Like, I feel
Well,
like our park gets
whatever.
the worst of everything.
Shanghai Disneyland's never going to open, so
it just got trashed too, didn't
it
it?
did. It just
yeah.
got demolished.
Yeah, I'm going to cover it in
Oh,
news,
sorry,
but no,
sorry.
it's fine. I mean, but if you think about it, our Disneyland got kind of trashed when it first opened too. Like people were
Right.
running in planters and smashing things, just
That's true.
like there. But I don't know if there was as much graffiti and littering and feral children running around.
I'm just waiting to see if Shanghai Disney does the same thing that Euro Disney did when it opened. Because when Euro Disney crashed, everything that was supposed to be stateside, they're like, nope, halt it. We've just lost a ton of money. Don't do it. So there might be things that they wanted to do here, but like, no, maybe we should keep some cash in our pocket just in case.
I don't
this
know. I mean,
fails
they're
again.
who knows, man. I mean, the Disney mechanics are so complex. I know that Hong Kong Disney just reported a loss, like a pretty big loss. Why we have 3 parks in Asia?
It's big.
Oh, I kicked him. I said, excuse
Oh,
me.
okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said the same.
We have 3 parks in Asia. Hong Kong, and then
Tokyo.
Tokyo, and now China
Yeah.
or Shanghai. I should
Shanghai,
say.
right. Huh.
And
That's weird, right? I
Yeah.
feel like that's weird, but I mean that's where all the people are. Why not, Dubai?
Oh, that would be crazy. Do you know
That'd
if they
be
got
pretty cool.
investors from Dubai to put money into that too?
Mm-hmm.
Everything would be solid gold. It'd be awesome.
That's right.
Crazy.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to report on your trip, Beth?
there are a couple things that I took a couple notes.
Okay.
Just I tried to take in as much while I was there to relay information on.
You're a good reporter.
I'm a great reporter.
You're a good reporter.
So
I'll give you a 4.
Be the tape
Give your
runner
face
sound
a
going.
floor.
I see.
That's nice of you, actually.
She gave my face a 4. Never changed.
I gave it an 8.
You did not.
I did too.
Go ahead.
the fireworks.
Never change. Never change a thing about you because no one will. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
watched the fireworks.
Go ahead.
I cried.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah,
It's
it happens
beautiful.
every time.
So
They're very nice.
good. These ones are so crazy. They have things that like inflate from the sides of the buildings, like when
Really?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Inflating?
Wow.
Yeah. So during the part where they have Ariel, they like do a little part about the Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And like seaweed like grows out of the top of the buildings.
Huh.
That's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Something I learned.
Yeah.
The fireworks
It's
shoot
not real
off
seaweed.
very slightly to the left of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to get a spot to watch the fireworks, make sure that the left of the castle is not obstructed by a tree.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Good tip.
Good tip, right?
Good to know.
Yeah. I experienced a couple things that we have talked about
Okay, like
on
what?
this show.
Like what?
I went to Trader Sam's. I've
You
never
never
done
yes.
this.
really?
Seriously, for the first time
For the
Wow.
first time.
in forever.
Underwhelmed.
What? That's
Food, the food was good. My drink was terrible.
What did
so
you get?
we heard that there's a bad bartender that works there.
My drink was rum. It had no other taste, and
What's
maybe
wrong
that's
with
what people
that?
want.
Wait a
okay,
minute.
see that's
Okay.
okay.
I
What
feel
was
like
the-
she misses the
What
point.
was
I
the
did.
bad part of it?
My drink was
Wait,
supposed
which one did you get? Do
I
you
don't-
remember?
No,
The uh-oh.
I wanted that, but they wouldn't sell it to me because it's a two-person drink.
You
And you're complaining about too much rum.
Well, I
Did you
expected
go
there
by
to be
yourself?
Other tastes. No, there were 4 people with us, but nobody wanted to share that with me because none of them liked coconut or pineapple.
So you just say, I'm going to split it with this person, and they don't have to drink it.
I've never shared one of those.
But you've had one?
Yeah.
But everybody at the table ordered
Yeah.
a drink.
Oh.
Oh, okay,
All right.
okay.
But that-
Okay,
but
so what did you
besides
get?
the
You,
point.
oh, you don't remember what
I
you
don't
got.
remember.
Okay.
But
So it was
my
made poorly.
sister-in-law had another drink also, and hers
Yeah.
was terrible too. It was not good.
Huh. Okay, well, I mean, I think that's the nature of mixed drinks, is that sometimes they're
Right.
good and sometimes
But
they're
if
not.
you like your alcohol to taste like straight alcohol, you're gonna really like it.
You're gonna
there.
See,
love
I've
it.
never
Okay.
experienced that there.
It's always been good every time I've
Yeah,
gone as
It was
well.
not. It was. I was chasing my sips of my drink with French fries because it
Why
was
didn't you send it back?
that strong. Because I didn't want spit to come back in it.
Dude,
There
are you
is-
serious?
It's Disney.
Anyway.
First of all, the bar is like super exposed. Nobody's going to be like, dude,
We
watch this.
sat
Check this
outside.
out. This chick wants to, get a different drink. It doesn't happen.
I rode Hyperspace Mountain.
Oh, look
Which
at
I
you
never-
dodging this subject.
I
Okay,
know,
yes,
right?
go ahead.
which
Hyperspace Mountain.
I never get to ride these adult rides,
Yeah.
but we had childcare there.
Okay.
I did not enjoy it.
We had childcare.
I agree with you.
Right. It
Both
was
of you.
terrible,
Oh, the
right?
Hyperspace Mountain.
I didn't hate
Yeah.
it.
Right.
I mean, I didn't think it was terrible, but I thought it was unnecessary, and I also didn't like how much light it projected. I didn't like that I could see the ride. I didn't like that I could see the tracks.
Oh, okay. Okay, I
That
can
kind of took
understand that.
took away some of the mystery and also made me a little scared.
Yeah.
understand
And
that.
I also
Okay. All right.
moseyed into Interventions.
Yeah. The old Star Wars deal.
Moseyed right back out.
Okay. You can't get mad about that. You should have known what you're in store
Okay.
for going to
I
that
didn't
place.
hate the old Interventions.
Really?
Because there were those games
I
and
didn't
those
either.
things
I
that
didn't
you could
either.
do.
It was so hokey and bizarre. It was so mid-90s. I kind of liked it.
strange. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like that like House of Tomorrow or whatever. That was lame, but the upstairs part was pretty cool.
Well, House of Tomorrow's gone.
Well, she gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
House
So
of Tomorrow was always pretty lame. It was kind of cool, but nothing ever worked
nothing
right.
ever worked.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That was the problem,
but the new Interventions, it's just like you can stand in line to take your picture with
Chewbacca.
Chewie,
Yeah.
but
For
it's
40 minutes.
hard pass.
Right.
But overall, I would say it was a great trip. I had a really good time. There's just some weird things going on in Disneyland that I think you're going to cover a little bit later, and I'll probably chime in with.
Maybe, yeah. When Tara and I went last time,
jump the gun.
I didn't want to wait in line for you. It would be cool, but I don't. And not just me. I know kids really like it. And I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of pictures of people with kids posting that their kid finally got to meet Chewbacca and whatever. That's great. Totally fine. It's not for me, and that doesn't have to be. Not everything has to be for adults,
I will
but it
say
should.
the coolest part of Interventions was walking in and the stormtroopers, like interacting with Abby.
Oh, really?
They were like staring her down and doing like the "I'm watching you," like fingers on the eyes.
Oh,
Thing.
yeah?
And she was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
It
well,
was great. So that interaction was fun.
she shouldn't be worried because even if they shot at her, they wouldn't hit her.
That's true.
Okay, let's. Is that it?
That's it.
We're done?
Well, for now, yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. I might interject at some point later. Okay, let's talk some Disney weddings. What do you guys think? Mickey and Billy, you ready?
Sure.
You ready for this? All right. So, give me the rundown here. Give me the backstory. How long have you guys been married?
Billy, you want to
I was
answer?
going no, that is
Let's see.
so
Get my
mean.
slide rule out.
Yeah.
And 2006 we got married.
Okay.
Do you
So
do you remember the date?
it's like 25
Yeah,
years ago.
March 4th,
That a boy.
2006.
That a boy.
I've been well trained. Sorry, I keep kicking the table.
All good.
That's all right, man. Don't worry about it. So you guys wanted to get married in Disney. Were you guys both lifelong Disney fans, or is one of you pulling the other one along into the parks? You know
By
what
our
I mean?
coattails, yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No, both of us are pleasantly lifelong Disney fans,
Okay.
which is really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. So what made you decide to get married in the parks versus somewhere else? Because I hear it's super expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone thinking about it, start saving now.
In all fairness, it's not that much more expensive than most of the places here in the Bay Area where we live.
okay.
So that was nice to see.
That's fair enough.
I was trying to run from family, but they followed us.
They did.
So
They
that
did.
didn't really work to my favor.
Right.
But
So how do
But,
you?
but the family got to pay for half of it.
yes.
Oh, good.
Because they
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Good move.
Right.
So how do you get in touch with someone at Disney? Because I know Taryn and I recently got married, and she wanted to just investigate the option, but we never heard back from anybody.
Oh,
Like they just for a couple of follow-up emails, just nothing.
Devastating.
Yeah.
No, I just
Well,
went on the website, Disney Weddings,
Yeah.
and reached out from there and made a phone call, and then took it from there. That's really simple.
Huh.
I know. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you.
I tried to request one of the pamphlets, and I requested it 3 different times. Just never showed. I don't know.
No,
It's all right.
Yeah. And this was 10 years ago. We're actually 11 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it was
Huh.
archaic times. And it was all online where I sent out the initial, request. I got the DVD, and I think it was a DVD. Was it VHS?
Yeah,
No,
no,
DVD.
it was a DVD.
That'd be great if it was VHS. Are you kidding me?
That's a collector's item.
For sure.
So what was
Yeah.
on the DVD then?
It shows a typical just propaganda type of wedding scenario. Well, they'll show you the beautiful weddings that they've housed in all the different areas of Disneyland, whether it's Disneyland Hotel, California Adventure, or of course the big, beautiful one in front of the castle.
Okay.
I always thought that there was one spot in kind of off to the Disneyland Hotel. There's a gazebo, and I figured that's where you get married, just right there. But you can kind of
There are lots of places you
Really?
can get married. Yeah, you can pick and choose. There's the Grand Californian Hotel.
okay, sure, yeah.
There's the outdoor fireplace, which is where we originally wanted to stand in front.
By Trader Sam's.
Mm,
Or is
no,
there-
No.
no.
Trader Sam's is at Disneyland Hotel. It's an outdoor fireplace
Okay.
at the
Grand
Grand
California.
Californian Hotel,
Okay, all right.
behind the Hearthstone Lounge.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can walk
Good.
by it as you're walking
Yeah.
into California Adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
you do.
and
Okay.
In a
10
roundabout
10
way.
years ago, it had a sizable lawn that could hold a lot of people.
Yeah.
And the ceremony would take place in front of the fireplace. Yeah, but there's lots of different places that they'll talk to you about.
Okay.
And obviously, if you want in front of the castle,
That's
money.
The, that's the
I'm
top
doing the
one.
money sign.
That's, yeah.
Makes great radio. Don't worry.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So that's the apex of the
Yeah.
of the pyramid, right? And then you kind of
Yes.
everything's down there. What's
Yeah.
the lowest
Yes.
option? Probably the gazebo next to the hotel.
It's the parking lot.
The parking,
Right.
the
Goofy's
monorail.
parking lot.
Right. Everyone pack the monorail.
Exactly. I think the lowest really has to do about guests. The amount
Oh,
of guests
okay.
that you want, because then everything is combined within that. So,
Gotcha.
Hi, Becca.
Okay, that's cool.
So we got in Disneyland Hotel. There's the gazebo. There's also a room above one of the restaurants in Disneyland Hotel.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is nice. You can see it from the pool. And then at the Grand California, they're inside the conference rooms outside, and then at the park. And the park is late at night, so if you want it at the park in front of the castle, it has to be after they close.
And it's only
Okay.
only one place in the park, is what you're saying, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Only the
Well, 10 years
castle?
ago it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be at night, not early in the morning.
No, that wasn't an option.
Not an
Okay.
option when we got married. No.
Okay.
So just after closing.
Which I think is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Were the
That makes
areas
sense.
in California Adventure, the animation pavilion? I know you can have your reception there.
Okay.
Oh, like the wine country
yeah,
Trattoria or
you
whatever.
can have a
Yeah.
reception and all that in the big hall area.
Yeah.
Different places. And I think you can opt to have a wedding inside those areas,
Or at
as
least a
well.
reception, if nothing else.
That'd be kind of cool.
I
Because
think so, too.
when we were there for our honeymoon, it was like 8:30 or 9 in the morning, and we were on the balcony, and we saw a couple coming in. Like
Right.
they were having their reception on the lawn, kind of at the hotel. It's like that's real early to get married, man.
Yeah, it was like a breakfast reception. It was odd
It's
in a
crazy.
way, but kind of cool in
Yeah.
a way.
That sounds nice, though.
Yeah,
Sounds
so I
really
figured like you can maybe
Yeah.
jump in there in the morning. Maybe that's an option now. I have
right,
no idea. I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, and off the page, like he was saying, is you
Yeah.
get receptions there. So.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
it's really nice.
So you get your DVD. And you're in touch with the people at Disneyland. How helpful were they with planning the wedding? Like, did you have to say this is exactly what we want, or did they say this is what you're gonna do, or how cooperative were they with you?
Oh, they're amazing.
Okay.
If anybody wants a wedding, I highly recommend Disney because they only want top customer service for one thing,
Right.
and for another thing, they just have everything at their fingertips.
Yeah.
So it can be any way. I'm low key, which is probably saving grace for a lot of these wedding coordinators.
Right.
But a wedding coordinator comes in with the cost of the whole wedding, so that's
nice.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
amazing?
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I chose it, I was finishing nursing school, and I didn't want to deal with all the stuff that you have
Oh
to deal
God,
with.
so
right?
much, so
Right?
many details that you forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said,
Yeah.
and I bowed down to her, did a little curtsy,
Okay.
and said, "Have fun." you
Yeah.
know?
Nice.
And so that's how it went.
That's
So,
cool. So
yes, I
she
got the
did-
DVD. I
okay.
made a phone call,
Yeah.
and then I had to beg my husband, but we had to go to Disneyland. We just had to go meet with her in person. So that was
So
that
you
was
made a
hard.
separate trip
Yeah.
down and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a good move.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of pulling of his teeth.
I could
but,
tell.
Sure, yeah.
I could tell.
yeah, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure it was just like that.
Right.
So you had
Already
your
done
own
that.
personal wedding planner, wedding coordinator.
Yes.
Yes.
And so what did you do? Did you sit down and go, this is what we're interested in? We're interested in a Haunted Mansion theme?
No, actually, it didn't even come out that way. We hadn't
Okay.
even really discussed it.
All right.
So we went down there to meet with them, and it's near the Grand. It's not the Grand California, the Disneyland Hotel where they have all the meetings and so forth.
Okay.
So we met with her. She had to sit down and kind of watch that same stupid video that we had to see before. Excuse me, that's not stupid. It's a wonderful video.
It's a
Right.
wonderful,
Wonderful.
It's a beautiful video.
All right.
And then she pulled us into the room and showed us all the books and all the gadgets and all the thematics from before.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of started that way. So
So then how quickly
Okay.
did your plans start to change from low key to, oh my goodness, we're about to Disney this whole thing up?
it as she was showing us these tacky but gorgeous blue and pink princess frilly stuff.
That was one of my concerns. Is everything princess?
What they show you, yes. And so we're sitting there just looking at this pretty, and I'm just, my face, so you can't see it in that podcast world, but my face was just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Yeah.
were, what were they? They were photos of dresses or
No.
just colors for the tablecloths or whatever?
It was the actual tangible tablecloths, the
Okay.
napkins.
Centerpieces.
Okay, all right.
What do you call
It's like
them?
a princess birthday
wedding
party.
gifts.
Yes,
Like
Okay.
a
exactly.
Cinderella, Snow
All we
White
needed
theme
was
kind of
bubbles
stuff. Yeah.
and songs
Yeah,
and
glitter.
A lot,
I
a
would-
lot of your more popular princesses.
And I
Yeah,
would
you
think
know.
Okay.
I would think that most people that want a Disneyland wedding, that's what they're
That's what
thinking.
they go
Sure.
for.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
right.
But you guys aren't about that.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't. She would know. My wife would know much better. But at one point, just the idea came up that we were both very partial to the Haunted Mansion, and for different reasons.
Okay.
I'm big into Halloween, and she had nightmares about it since she was 2. Because her mom put her on the ride. And,
Yes. Scarred me for life.
Oh, man. So this is very much a cathartic moment for you.
right.
Yeah, he wants
Up
to
yours,
celebrate.
yeah.
He wants to celebrate, and you want to move through this into a new chapter in your life. This is a Disney movie. I'm telling
Exactly.
you.
But we were talking, and just out of the blue, I just thought at one point that for a favor, the Disney, not Disney, but for the favor, wedding favors would be, wouldn't it be funny to have death certificates?
Oh, that's awesome.
You know,
That's
and,
awesome, yeah.
and to give to everybody, have for everybody.
And so then he followed up by asking, "Can we have a Haunted Mansion themed wedding?" And at this point, neither one of us had discussed it. He just blurted it out.
He's blurted it out.
Right.
He just blurted it out, and both of I and the wedding coordinator went, "What?"
So when he said it, were you going like, this may not be the most exciting thing I've ever heard of, and you should
No,
stop?
I
We need to pull him
loved
outside
it.
and talk. You
No,
loved
I loved it
it. Okay.
because I did not.
Luckily for me.
Yeah, I'm just not for princess. I'm not frou-frou.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and
Yeah.
such, and that would just was so exciting to me. And she literally jumped out of her chair, ran out of the room.
And never
Seriously,
came back.
right?
No.
And came back. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. Came back with sage and chocolate brown. She's like, "Oh my God, I've always wanted to do something different. This is so exciting."
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
She was ready to go with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait a minute. So had you at this point gotten over your fear of the Haunted Mansion? In all honesty, like, or is it still weird for you? Because I would imagine.
Still weird. It's still weird.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why go through with the Haunted Mansion wedding if there was still some sort of, I don't know, I don't say dark. I don't want to make it too dramatic, but you know what I mean, like a little bit of sandpapery feeling about it.
Therapy for her.
Yes.
That was it. That was because I mean, if the roles were reversed, and I didn't like the Haunted Mansion, and Terrence goes, "Oh, let's have a Haunted Mansion wedding," I'd be like, I kind of don't. I don't think I want to do that, or give me some time to prepare for it.
Especially with all the money going into it as well.
Especially for all the money going into
yeah.
it. But I guess you are
it's just
laid back. You're like, all right, dude, I don't care.
It just felt right, and it just
Okay.
at the moment, our reactions were so genuine in nature, as far as like, this is awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
And
it was wonderful. The wedding coordinator, like I said, popped up, ran out of the room, came back with all these things. She said nobody has ever done this
Oh,
before.
jeez.
And she just
Wow.
starts. Yeah.
I can't imagine. It's very hard for me to imagine.
We thought the same thing.
Yeah.
We're like, what? Really? Okay. And and so she just started blabbing about ideas and this and that. I was like, oh, cool. I sat back and had fun.
Yeah.
That's
know.
awesome.
Yeah, so it was pretty amazing. That was our first introduction to meeting her. Aside from a
So
few
this is
phone
just day
calls and
one.
emails. Yeah, after
Wow.
a few phone calls and emails initially to get that set up.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where we were at that point.
All right. And then where was the actual service going to be held?
It was originally going to be held, like I said, it was going to be in front of the fireplace outside
Right.
of the Grand Californian. And unfortunately, it had rained so much in the previous months that they couldn't put chairs in the grass.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
They'll sink right
people
in.
would start sinking and whatnot. So they said,
Okay.
very sorry, but, if it's okay, we're going to move it inside. So
Okay.
it was
Okay.
it was in the Grand Californian in one of the convention halls.
Okay. All right.
They smalled it down and
Sure.
they'd set it up really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. So now I got that down. So what happens? You leave Disneyland. You guys are driving back home, and you're pumped.
Right.
This is going to be the Haunted Mansion thing.
Yes.
Did you do anything at all, or you were kind of just letting them run on autopilot?
Well, we did.
We did a lot.
We
yeah.
did a lot,
Okay.
and they did a lot.
Okay.
Which was kind of behind our not behind our backs in a bad way,
Yeah,
but,
behind
but
the
it was
scenes.
like
Yes.
Right,
behind the scenes
Okay.
that they were able to pull off some very, very cool things for us.
Okay.
And what we did, I'm sorry,
That's all right.
what we did, we took care of like the place cards, for the reception.
Yeah.
We ended up naming all the tables, different rooms of the mansion, stuff
Oh,
like
nice.
that. Those were
Cool.
ideas that we came up with.
Okay. And they were so, and I guess I'm trying to ask a couple things at once. Are they just there for broad strokes, or if you wanted them to do, let's say, the name cards, would they do it and it's still kind of all included in
No,
the price?
all those little things would be that would be extras.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you were there. They were there for the broad strokes, and your guys, we'll take care of this.
Right.
Little
Okay.
yeah, a little
All
bit
right.
much. So what she took care of. So then after that we go home,
Mm-hmm.
and she at that point when we first met her, she had some ideas, but she wanted to ride the ride. So she went to the park and rode the ride 4 times.
She got paid to go to
Yes.
the park and ride the. What an amazing
That's
job
awesome.
My dream.
Yes.
to be a Disney
Yes.
wedding planner.
Yes, I'll do that. That means I get to ride right.
Right. So she went to the park. She rode the ride 4 times to get inspiration from the Haunted Mansion and so forth. And then a month later, which was our plan from the first discussion, she'll get back to me of some of her ideas.
Okay.
And so that's
So you-
how that next step.
She
took.
got a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did she come back with?
Oh, she came back with a sage color that she pulled from the wallpaper that she found in the
Okay.
ride. So she was
Okay, I
looking
can
at
see
the
that.
colors in the ride. And so our colors of our wedding were sage.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as the tablecloths and such, like a crinkly. She wanted crinkles to go
Okay.
with the old,
Nice, yeah.
look of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that was the coloring.
Wow.
And then you could come up with centerpieces of such.
Mhm,
And that was a little pricey for us because she said, "Do you trust me?" I said, "Sure."
She's good.
She's
Yeah.
good.
She's good.
She's really good. So what she had done with the centerpieces is she had the florist design a unique centerpiece for each of the tables that we had.
Oh, wow,
And
she's
I think
real
we
good.
had 12.
Yeah, she is. I know.
And each of them were thematic from some of the areas of the Haunted Mansion.
That's
That's
really
so
neat.
amazing.
From headstones to graveyard signs to
Jeez.
weeping willows.
Wow.
I saw some of the weeping
And
willows.
so- yeah. to some of the most beautiful just centerpieces that were there.
That's so cool.
How long between your first meeting with her until the actual wedding date?
March, September, I'd say August. The year before, we got married in March. So
Okay.
August the year before, yeah.
Okay, so not so well. What
About
is it?
7 months.
Yeah.
7 months or
7
so.
months, yeah.
Was that enough time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they are just amazing. They know how to do it. They run with it, and she just went with it.
She went with it. Okay,
Yeah, and they have all the money in the world. They could deal with it.
that's
They have
more
more money than
true
God.
than untrue.
Yeah, that's true.
Did it affect your clothes, your dress? Like, you know what I mean? Did you guys alter what you were going to wear for the wedding around the theme at all?
No,
I don't think so. No.
That would've been a little
No,
weird.
it didn't.
no.
Change it from a normal wedding to like the corpse bride or something.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
no.
We didn't.
That'd be a little-
We didn't do that.
A little bizarre.
No.
Okay.
No, they were, like I said, throughout the whole thing, she was really amazing. The flowers that they used to decorate were
Mhm.
very fall festive colors. Lots of cobwebs, lots of crows, lots of big horned pine cone like. I don't know. I'm not a florist. I don't know. Types of things. I mean, they decorated it to the T when it came to just. They took. If you were to walk through the ride,
Yes.
she took inspiration from the graveyard on the outside, the graveyard on the far side, inside the rooms, and it was just amazing what she did.
So looking at the pictures, what I really appreciated was that it was certainly themed, but it wasn't like this is a haunted mansion. Like it was very beautiful and very elegant and still a wedding,
Exactly.
but just very
Ex-
clean.
Yes, and that's exactly what it is. Our wedding cake, I wanted it very fun and festive, and I didn't realize I couldn't change the colors. So if you notice, the colors are really bright and cheerful. It's the top Mad Hatter hat cake,
Yeah, Matter
Nice.
Cat.
the Matter Cat.
It was
The-
a Mad Hatter cake.
Thank you.
And it was
Yeah.
all topsy turvy and
Nice.
but it was really bright and festive.
Okay.
And she came to me the morning of the wedding, and she said, "Can I just do a little something to this?" And I said, "Sure." So she went out and put some cocoa powder on it to dust it off, and cobwebs and some spiders and such, which was really nice.
Wow.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spiders are edible, Terrence.
Yes.
So that's
Yes, they
it's
are.
a lot of protein. and it's
Everyone
fun.
eats like 50 a year. Yeah.
Even tarantulas, you know.
That's fake. That's all
I know it is.
All right. It's 40.
Not the one you ate last night.
So okay, so when you guys, so did you see the room before the ceremony, or did you walk in and had never seen it before? You know what I mean? Or were you there beforehand, like going, that goes there, don't do that, that
Oh,
looks
no,
great?
no, no, no.
You didn't see it at all,
No.
sight unseen.
No. Yes.
It,
when
it
you
was
first
sight
walked in.
unseen. Yeah.
What-
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Was that
exactly.
weird? To
No.
me, I
Oh,
would
it
be
was
grinding
awesome
my
is what it
teeth,
was.
going like,
No.
I need to know what they're doing in there, right? I mean,
No,
come
you're
on.
right about that.
No, and
No,
that's why I
it-
chose Disney. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
they're
yeah.
gonna
It
they're
was-
gonna uphold their reputation. It's not gonna go wrong.
That's
You
true.
know,
Wow.
So I worked on my finals, and I let her do what she wanted to do.
And she was so excited right after we were married and everybody was out in the courtyard.
Yeah.
The wedding coordinator was.
Yes. She pulled us aside and wanted to show us the room before,
Oh.
and so she pulled us in there and showed everything. And
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
the Haunted Mansion was down.
Yeah, I want to get to
Yeah, I
that.
wanna
in a
get to
second.
that
I
in a
want to get
bit.
to that
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
second.
I won't.
No,
So-
no, it's fine.
It looks like you got married in a different room than the ceremony, or than the reception,
Yes,
obviously, right?
yes.
And so the room with the ceremony, that had, it looks like very opulent, giant bouquets, and kind of along that same theme, which I guess it had to be, right?
Yeah,
There's the crow in
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
It was very amazing, a lot of fun. And actually, the morning of when I was preparing for the wedding, which again, ladies, they do an amazing job. They give you all the mimosas you want. They give you a room for all the ladies to get ready in. You know, so you
Perfect.
can get ready aside right there. You don't have to go off site, and they take care of you. And the wedding coordinator was at
Jeez.
my beck and call. You know, just run into me. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? It was just
Oh, that's
flawless.
great.
It was flawless.
Wow,
yeah.
there's a job. I mean, I can't get over the floral arrangements back
Yeah.
there for the backdrop for your reception. That's crazy, or your wedding.
Yeah.
Looks great. It really does look like the kind of outskirts of the Haunted Mansion. Especially if you go around like through the Fast Pass line.
Right, right.
There's a lot of like I don't think they're juniper berries, but it looks kind of that way to me. Or like I don't know, this kind of like hard plant life. You know what I mean? Not
Mhm.
flowers, not delicate stuff, but
Exactly.
like
something you almost don't want to touch.
Foliage?
kind
Yeah,
of
like
thing.
hardy foliage,
Yeah.
bush kind of
Right.
stuff, but not. But there's very lovely dark roses all throughout. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. It was gorgeous.
That's really neat.
throughout the whole thing.
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
talk about the props.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like you were saying, Billy, the Haunted Mansion was down,
Yeah.
and so what were they able
Because
to do
of the
for you
overlay,
guys?
right?
Was it the overlays the reason why it was
Or-
down?
No, at that point they were actually revamping it, taking out some of the old props to put in
that's
some of
what
the
it
new
was.
ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because it was down, they were able to pull some of the props, the suit of armor.
Insane.
Yes.
Wow.
Was there.
Yes.
They had some furniture in there.
Yes.
They did a it's not a prop from the mansion, but ice sculpture of Madame Leota's head.
Crystal
Oh,
ball.
cool.
Kind of a thing. you know,
Oh,
and-
is that what you guys are touching?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I was
was
trying to
my
figure out what that
goodness.
was.
yeah.
Did you
and-
guys realize what all the props were immediately, or did she have to tell
Well,
you, hey,
It was kind of both.
Okay,
For me,
okay.
anyway.
all right.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
both because that was a surprise to us. That was a
Yes.
wedding surprise to us that they showed us. When they
Oh.
pulled us in, it was just the two of us. We just got married. Everybody else is taking pictures. They pulled us in to show us what they had done for us to surprise
That's
us.
amazing.
And so that was the moment that you found out that there were props and things. in
Yes,
there?
Yes,
from
yes.
the
Wow.
actual
From the
ride.
ride.
As if you're not
From the
already
ride.
like emotional enough,
No, no,
right?
yeah, right.
like,
Exactly.
I would've
Wow.
cried my face off.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
awesome.
I'm just so happy that this chair is actually in the mansion.
There really is.
And what was the big painting there? Is that in the mansion?
It was in the attic.
It's in the attic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was something.
yeah.
Yeah, it was something from the attic.
Yeah, it was something
Kinda
from the attic,
and-
hidden and such, but that they pulled it out for that.
It's like for those of you at home, it's a giant painting of what looks like the dining room scene in the dining room scene. But it's the table when there's a cake in there and there's in the center and there's a bunch of ghosts kind of around it hanging out. So, but I've never seen it before.
Right. It was really gorgeous, and what they had done, it was also for their promotional efforts, though, since nobody had a Haunted Mansion wedding as well. They took the time to take pictures of us so it could promote, that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Did they give you a discount on that? Or?
no discount. We just got the
man.
props, which I think is pretty cool.
That
So,
is awesome.
Yeah, it was really amazing. We
That's-
enjoyed it
Wow.
very much.
When you when she told you that you guys were going to have a Haunted Mansion wedding, were there things that you would have liked to see that didn't make it, that couldn't make it? Like for me, I'd be like, oh yeah, if you can bring oh, you didn't know that there were props.
No.
Ah, okay, yeah,
No.
okay.
Velvet Elvis.
All right.
The only thing that we did want that we couldn't quite get was the jazz band that you wanted. What was the name of the band? The New Orleans jazz band?
The Bayou Brass Band.
Yes. He wanted to have them play our music, and they just weren't available.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The people from the park?
Yes.
Oh, wow,
yes.
that'd be rad.
But that's something that you can do. So if there's a favorite band that you have that play in the park, if they're available, you can hire them to play for your wedding.
That's really neat.
yeah.
you could have got the cadaver
I
dance
never
to
even-
sing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Kidding me?
Yeah.
I've never even thought about that.
Right.
That's
But
really
what was
neat.
really nice too is that the day of the wedding, we had a harpist, and she came to us and said, "Can I play Sally's song
Oh.
while everybody's walking down the aisle and so forth?" So that was really
Wow.
interesting.
That's
Little
pretty
Nightmare
cool.
Before Christmas
Yeah.
thrown in there. Sally's song. I just thought
That's-
it was nice that everybody seemed to be involved in this. So.
And they
it's
seem to be into it
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Which
Exactly.
is cool. Like, I don't think it was people were just kind of going, oh, yeah, I'll do this, but whatever. Like, they're coming up with their own ideas to plus it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Which is
Yes.
great.
Yes. So it was nice that everybody was really involved and really excited and such. Yeah.
That's, wow. I think that's pretty cool. Do you know if this is something, let's say folks at home went to get married at Disneyland and the ride is down? Whatever ride, Pirates,
Oh,
whatever.
pick one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, throw a rock, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that something that normally happens? Do you know at the Disney things where they will get props if they can, or you just had like the best coordinator in the entire universe?
I think I just had the best coordinator, but I would ask. Shoot. You know,
Yeah?
I don't see
Yeah,
why
there's
not.
no harm in asking. I think it was luck of the draw
Okay.
Yeah.
that this happened.
Yeah. I would definitely ask though, but it was a total surprise to us. We didn't expect it, so it's a great pleasure. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, I like it. And what we did is we had to we made up the favors and we made up the table. So we named every table a room from the Haunted Mansion.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was really nice. Then, like I said, I showed everybody here got to see the death certificates that we made as favors for everybody.
That's cool. What's
That's
this?
cool.
What am I getting
Yeah.
handed now?
So what that is
Little
they
box?
give everybody watches who gets married in Disneyland. So you
What?
get
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was a
Wow.
gift. That's a gift from Disneyland that we forgot we got until we looked at them
How
10
long-
years later.
Was it 10 years later? Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just pulled the box out,
Yeah.
3 days ago in preparation for this. Oh, look at this.
No, they gave it to us the day of our wedding. as a
Sure.
gift. It's
But
still
you-
in the box.
but
10
you
years
forgot
later.
about it.
You forgot completely?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's so funny.
We forgot
That's
about
really
what?
neat.
No, really.
Look, dude, they're not missing it.
eBay.
They're not missing it. And that lady's watch will look real good on you.
I think it will. Nice and dinky.
Yeah, and the
That is
men's one,
awesome.
Accentuate your delicate wrists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you gonna wear them, or are you? Are you just gonna leave
I
them in
think
the
now
box?
I am.
Yeah.
That I remembered
Yeah.
that I had them.
Yeah.
I
I
put
think
them
it's nice.
They're gorgeous, and for everybody out there, there's a female size and a male size. They're silver and gold, and they have Disney on it, so you'll love
Yeah,
it.
it's a castle.
It's a
In
Yeah.
castle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
pretty
there's a
awesome.
certificate of authenticity that they give you.
That's
It's pretty
excellent.
nice, yeah.
So for those people who want to have a Disney wedding, what did you learn? What would be? Do you have any advice to folks out there in podcast land?
Don't give up if they don't call you right back.
It's too late. We're
I
already
know,
married.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about renewing our vows, so that's an option there. They do it at the Aulani, where we just visited a
Oh.
couple years ago. They do it at the Disney World, so
Okay.
you have options there for renewals. Not
Cool.
too much.
Not bad.
But I would just say have fun with it.
Yeah.
Take,
You know,
take
just-
your ideas and run with it because they will help you.
Okay.
They'll help you realize what you can buy the menu item, but you can embellish it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can
You can go off their secret menu.
exactly.
It's
Exactly.
in and out. Yeah. No, that's amazing.
That's the coolest thing.
What I just
Whoa.
pulled out
My
of the
gosh.
box
Yeah,
is
we
they
just- yeah, these are the-
Are
actually
you
gave
kidding me?
us these props from the table that the bride hatches all of her groom's heads off. This is the
Wow.
old bouquet
Yeah.
and hatchet that they had in the ride that they gave us
Wow.
as a gift. Those are
But you
actual
You gotta be
Really?
kidding me.
actual haunted mansion props that they
That's
gave
amazing.
us
Oh.
as a
Yeah.
gift.
That is so
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Of all the props that we got to see and touch and
Right.
take pictures
Yeah.
of, they let us take these home. It was really a big honor.
That's
is
cool.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Kind of
Yeah.
smells like the haunted mansion.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, like,
Wow.
And it actually does.
It does smell like the Haunted Mansion. It smells like fog juice.
yeah, exactly.
Years and years and years of fog
Yes.
juice.
And so for everybody out there who's looking for it, Disney has all the money in the world. They want your business. They don't need your business. And so I think with that said, they're going to make the experience the best that they can for you. And I highly recommend it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
wow, that is awesome.
Yep.
I could tell you my most memorable moment if I could share real quick.
Yeah,
Do it.
please
Absolutely.
do.
Please do. Please
So
do.
after our wedding at the Grand Californian, we had to walk over to our honeymoon hotel at Disneyland Hotel. And so we had to walk through the park there.
Yeah.
And I'm in my wedding dress and Billy's in his suit. And as I'm walking, I have my tiara and everything going, and this little girl stops me and says, "Are you a princess?"
Aww.
Yes.
Did you kick her and say, "Get out of here, kid"?
right. No, but that was just a beautiful moment, right?
Aw.
Where I got to be a Disney princess for a day.
That is
You know,
awesome.
it was
Totally.
really
Yeah.
nice.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, so that was fun.
That's a
Very
good
cool.
story, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming down and sharing that with
You're
us.
welcome.
I
Thanks
thought
for
that was
having
really cool.
us and
Definitely
sharing.
appreciate it. Thank
Oh,
you.
and then did you see this too? My
Oh.
husband
I
has.
did see that.
See,
I noticed that
I've been
tattoo.
that's the exact
holding
tattoo
my
I've been
arm
looking
out.
for. Yeah, right on the forearm there. I've been thinking about doing that forever. It looks great. Came out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the tattoo the Haunted Mansion.
Looks
It's
really
the,
good.
It's
Haunted Mansion
the
wallpaper.
design from the
The
wallpaper,
wallpaper,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the Haunted Mansion.
Did you have that before or after you got married?
After. Yes.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
it in 2010.
Yes.
Cool.
Not bad.
Looks great. Came out great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having my proof of concept. All right, guys,
great.
I appreciate it. If you want to hang out, you can. We're going to talk to Jeremy from Spectro Radio here.
Okay.
Which I totally forgot about. I've been a mess today. Been a mess all over my
Okay.
my outline and all that kind of stuff. Jeremy,
Hello.
how you doing, buddy?
What's going on? How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. I wanted to get you on the line because now
Join us as we unravel the magic behind some of Disney's most beloved pieces of music. It's Spectro time.
This magic night, a million stars will play beside us, cast a spell upon shimmering carouseling round the world tonight. A symphony.
Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
Wonderful.
It's so
I love
good.
it. By the way, I want to weigh in on something from before, if I could.
Yeah, of course you can.
So from the angle that we're viewing that one camera, we can't really see your face, but your legs are a solid 8.
Oh, thank you. How can you see my legs?
From the,
Before
over-
you like kind of have them
the
out.
overhead.
Oh,
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jeremy.
They're all right. I mean, is it on now? Like they're.
I don't know. I turned it off.
Oh,
I actually think the socks are kind of killer too. I like those, man.
they're all right. They're all right. I wouldn't say an 8. They definitely get better as they go up. I got the chicken leg syndrome.
I'll
You know
take
what I
your
mean?
word for that.
Yeah.
Just gonna have to stop you.
Well, no. Now I need photos. Now I'm gonna take photos and I'm gonna put them out there. I'm just kidding. Jeremy, how you doing? It's been a month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's new? Have you been to like I don't know. Where do you go everywhere? You're like digging for oil in the Arctic or something.
I've been in New York for a while, but I'm about to start going again. I think I'm going to be in Disneyland in June, though. It's looking like. So
In June?
if you guys are going to be around.
No,
And
I
anyone?
won't be. In July, maybe. You should put that off to July.
Put it off
All right.
until October. I'll be there without kids.
He says
Oh.
that, but he's not going to
It's
be.
happening.
It's never going to happen. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Jeremy?
Okay, so tonight we are leaving Disneyland and we are leaving the United States. We're going to take a little trip overseas, and our first stop is Tokyo Disneyland. And the reason why is because there is a nighttime electrical parade there that is not very familiar to a lot of Americans because it's never been in the States. And that parade is called Disney's Fantalusion. Number 1, please.
Number 1.
So almost as catchy as Spectrum Magic, right?
Yeah,
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah, almost a close second. So that's Fantalusion theme. That's the music of the parade. But let's step back for a second. So Disneyland, 1992, they debuted a show you might be familiar with called Fantasmic. The story of good clashing with evil. And basically what happened was they wanted to take this story to Tokyo. But they decided to do it in parade format. So they got the same team that put together Fantasmic, and they had them create a nighttime electrical parade for Tokyo, but that told the story of Fantasmic.
Okay.
So they came up with the storyline. It's loosely based on Fantasmic's storyline, and it incorporates many of the elements of Fantasmic. For me, that's like everything's happy in the beginning, and then villains show up and ruin it, and then everything's happy again.
Yeah, and the heroes prevail.
So the music of Fantalusion is orchestrated by a guy named Bruce Healy, who also composed the theme to Fantasmic. And the parade, when it was in Tokyo, was sponsored by Unisys. It's comprised of 3 different acts or movements with a total of over 30 floats, which is
Wow.
a lot, or parade units, as Disney calls them.
Parade units. All right.
Parade units. So the first act is the Enchanted Garden, and that starts with Tinkerbell, Mickey Mouse, and the fairies from Sleeping Beauty. And basically, they wish to bring us the gift of Disney Light, because this is, after all, an electrical parade. Number 2.
Starlight, star bright, we wish upon a star tonight to bring the gift of Disney light.
Very Promethean.
Yeah. So that introduces the first part. And you've got floats like the Enchanted Flower Wheel. It's all around those fairies. So the Flora's Gazebo, the Enchanted Flower Swing, the Enchanted Dragonfly. These are each different parade units. A garden, Merryweather's Gazebo, Enchanted Butterfly. So that all comes through, and it's wonderful. Everything's great. And then, of course, Act 2, the villains just have to show up. And, of course, they're not happy. So
Those
their
darn
whole
villains.
thing... Yeah. I don't understand why they're not happy, but they're just angry.
They're just angry inside. Don't worry. I'm sure by at least 2025, we're going to get backstories on every single villain.
Oh,
So we'll
goodness.
know exactly. And it's all about, they didn't get what they wanted as a kid or something.
Oh, right. Well, we know Maleficent now, right?
Yeah,
we know
because-
she got spurned.
Yeah.
So, okay. So their whole thing is, no with the light. We're going to turn the light into darkness. Number 3.
Oh, I will take the light and turn it into the light of the ocean.
But isn't that counter? I mean, without the light, there is the darkness. So they can't turn light into darkness. They're just getting rid of the light.
They're dousing it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I guess.
I mean, far be it for me to poke a hole in a plot of a parade, but
I know this thing was it's such a solid plot. I mean, I can't believe you finally.
I'm the only one.
So those are the evil villains. It was actually led by Jafar. Then Ursula's unit came along. Maleficent had a thing where she came in. The dragon came up out of it. These were pretty. The parade units were pretty great because a lot of these were show stops. So it wasn't just like Paint the Night or Main Street Electrical that we're used to, where it just continuously goes. They would stop, and the float would transform, and like Ursula's head would come up out of the middle. So there was a bit more going on. So you had the Evil Queen, and then it finished up with Chernabog from Fantasia. But we can't end the parade on a bad note. So we've got what they call Act 3, the happy ending, when darkness turns back into light.
Wait, do the villains succeed for a bit, and then the heroes come back?
Well, it's in typical Disney fashion that it's villains all in a row, and they kind of annoy us and terrify us for a while, but then the floats just keep moving, and so something else has to come. So that's happy end. Oh my God. Darkness turns back into light, number 4.
Number 4.
Starlight, star bright, we wish and dream with all our might, and turn the dark back into light.
Oh yeah, it's something else.
That's a big music build.
So this last act is basically all the princesses. So you've got Ariel, Snow White, Belle, Aladdin, Jasmine, Princess Aladdin is there, Cinderella. Basically,
very forward.
Each one of them, as they come through, says a little spiel like that you just heard. That was Ariel's, and they are, whatever, something. We want the light to come back. So, and then the finale is Princess Minnie's castle, and that's the big finale. So the total length of this parade, because it was over 30 units, actually it ran, if you stood in the same spot, it ran for 38 minutes it would take for it to go by you. With all the show stops and everything else. By comparison, the original Main Street Electrical Parade took 25 to go by. Paint the Night takes 17.
Wow.
So this thing is long.
Wow.
In it, there's over 160 performers, which is a lot for a Disney parade. 290 different fabrics are used to costume the performers. 10 different types of lighting are used, including mini lights and fiber optics. The parade ran from in Tokyo Disneyland. Well, this is actually another little interesting fact. Parades in Tokyo don't go down Main Street USA because they technically don't have a Main Street USA. They have something called the World Bazaar, and it's covered in glass. And to hold up the glass are supports that kind of come out into the street, so it's not wide. There's not enough clearance to have a parade go down it. So they enter from over by Critter Country, come down. They go through the hub and then back out over towards where Small World is.
Okay.
The layout's pretty similar to Disneyland. So it ran from July 21st, 1995. For 6 years until May 17th, 2001, and then it closed at the end of its final season, which was dubbed Sayonara Disney's Fantalusion, which I love. And I'm so looking forward to Sayonara World of Color Celebrate. But that's not the end of Fantalusion. Number 5.
Number 5.
Mesdames et messieurs, et vous les enfants, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland Park est heureux de vous présenter, proudly presents, the Disney's Fantalusion Parade.
Triumphant return.
Triumphant return. So for you monolinguals in the audience, that's French. So you can probably guess that Disneyland Paris decided they needed a new nighttime electrical parade because they, if you were paying attention to one of my previous segments, they were running the Main Street Electrical Parade that was Disney World's that they got in 1992 when they opened because WDW got Spectro Magic. So Disneyland's ready for something new. So they buy Fantalusion from Tokyo. And I just thought they would just move it, but apparently the way they're almost set up as mini corporations within Disney, the different parks, so they can't just have each other's stuff. They actually have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how that works. So Tokyo's version was over 30 floats. However, due to financial limitations at the Paris park, only 15 of the 30 original floats were bought by Disneyland Paris, and actually only 13 of those ended up being used in the actual parade. It also only featured 50 performers due to the shortened size. So if you remember what I said, Tokyo's was over 160. So this is like a third of the size from a performer standpoint of what Tokyo was putting on.
Wow.
And radically reduced in terms of the number of parade units. So this was not without problems. Disneyland Paris also bought the costumes. But when the costumes arrived, they realized that the electrical parts of the costumes, because the people, their stuff lights up too, the currents weren't compatible with European currents.
Oh, no.
And watts. So, but that actually wasn't the worst problem. The bigger problem was that the sizing was off due to the Asian performers generally having a smaller stature. So none of the costumes fit the taller European performers. That's not all. It took 40 days for the floats to reach Disneyland Paris because they traveled by cargo ship from Japan with a stop in Australia where they had to were taken off one ship and put onto another ship. They landed on the coast of Spain and then were taken by truck to Paris. They needed extensive refurbishment that took much longer than expected once they got to Disneyland Paris because they were extensively damaged during shipping and all that transfer times. And cargo vessels at sea, getting salt water and the whole thing. Plus, Tokyo, before they had sold it, had left it out in the elements for a bit, so it had gotten destroyed by the Tokyo weather. So they kind of sold them a bill of Tokyo kind of sold Disneyland Paris a bill of goods. And this is not the second time France has been screwed because if you remember, we bought the Louisiana Purchase, I think, for about $100. They're not the best deal makers, apparently. Please, French people, don't write in and hate me. I'm only kidding. Further, they had to convert, obviously, all the electrical systems on board the parade units because those weren't compatible either. And another sizing issue, the driving compartments for each of the units were built really small just to hold the smaller-sized Asian performers. So they had to enlarge all of the driving compartments of them to fit the European cast members.
Right.
So this is a lot of extra work. It was meant to debut in 2002. But the extensive delays meant that it didn't open to previews until June 28th, 2003, almost a year later, and it finally opened to the public on July 5th, 2003. So it ran until summer of 2012. So this is another difference. Disneyland Paris has two high seasons, the summer and Christmas. And so that's when they would run it. So if you went in fall and spring, most of the time you wouldn't see Fantalusion. It only ran during those high seasons. At the end of summer 2012, it was announced that Fantalusion would go on a temporary hiatus, and it never returned. Just like that's what they do with my favorite parades.
Yeah,
that's what they did to Spectro.
And they left it out in the rain.
And they left it out. That's what I don't learn something. You can't leave it in the rain. So the theme to Disney's Fantalusion can still be heard. You can hear it in the Magic Kingdom in Florida. And actually, I was recently in the Disney store in Times Square, and I'm like, oh, my God, they're playing Fantalusion. That's interesting. So it is.
I like how you knew that.
Yeah, you're probably the only person that knew that.
The only person that knew that.
And I'm sitting there texting everyone I know, like, guys, playing Fantalusion. time. Yeah, you won't believe it.
And they're going like, new phone. Who is this? Who is this kid?
And I'm like, hello, are you there? So Fan Illusion is gone, not all, but not 100% gone because they're still playing and it's not forgotten. And of course, you can still hear both the French and Japanese versions on Spectro Radio.
Spectro Radio. Very
They have-
nice, Jeremy.
Awesome.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, yeah, man, always, dude. Anytime. I mean, we're trying to do it once a month, but hey, whatever you want, dude. Both
All right.
shows, I don't care.
Sounds good.
It's
and
a lot of work for you guys.
Keep those legs looking good and your ears up.
Thanks, man. Look,
Absolutely.
I'm trying. I'm doing a little reverse lunges. Trying to. Hey, before you scram, tell me what's going on Spectro, man. What's happening?
Things are pretty good.
Yeah.
There's still some question about how much we can afford to stay going because of the royalty rates quadrupled, and the new service I'm using is covering those costs, but they can't forever. So, I'm covering a substantial piece of it too.
Yeah.
But if it gets to be over $4,000 a year or something, like I gotta give it up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's too much to sink in on a hobby. As much as fun as it is,
Yeah,
people
like, I
go,
love
"Oh
it.
yeah, do podcasting, blog writing, anything creative that you don't get paid for." It's but you do it because you love it. But at a certain point, it's a loss.
yeah.
The love does not outweigh the monetary loss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
hear
do
you.
love it. I mean, when I play you guys, that's royalty free, so that's time that I don't have to pay anybody for that.
No, wow.
As long as you don't start collecting a check.
Speaking of
Hey,
which,
wait a minute.
We have an invoice in the mail. Don't worry about it. It's all back pay. It's all good. It's all
So,
straightforward.
I might try to figure, maybe in the long run, I figure something out where I only play music half the time, and then it's just a podcast. I don't know, but that's a little ways off. They're gonna start injecting pre-roll advertising when you launch the app. So when you first start, you'll have to watch like a 15 to 30-second video, but then it'll be commercial free for after that.
Oh, okay.
And of course, you could always go to spectroradio.us, click on shop, and buy some of my T-shirts. That helps things as well.
What about a
So-
little donation thing going on?
Donate too. There's a donate button. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
good. All right.
So I'm sure you guys are familiar with the drill. So
Yeah, that's for sure, man. But hey, look, dude, we're both in the same team, so I'd like to see people spread it around a little bit.
yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? All right, Jeremy, I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy, thanks.
Man.
Bye.
bye.
I like Jeremy.
Nice.
He's a good kid. He's probably older than me. I have no idea. I have no idea. He could be 58. I have no idea, but I'm going to call him a kid. Let's do some Disney news real quick. Not a whole lot, but a little bit.
March in the past, present, and future with all the news that's fit to cover. It's the Ears Up Disney News.
All right. Where'd my notes go? Man, I got a lot going on. I'm also trying to keep up with the Sharks game.
They're doing well.
They're doing very well. 5-0 going in the third.
Nil? Is it
Yeah.
a soccer game all of a sudden?
Soccer game, baby.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay, which one do I want to pick? Because I have like 1,500 news stories, but I just don't have. Here's a big one: Disney Infinity is clearing out, is closing down, is shutting down.
Crazy.
Disney Interactive is shuttering Disney Infinity, and actually they're getting out of video game publishing altogether.
Yeah.
This coming off of the a big announcement about how well Disney Infinity was doing. 4 months ago, Walt Disney boasted loudly about the strength of its self-published video game unit. Tuesday, the company shut it down. The abrupt decision caught many in the industry off guard, especially given the company's announcement in December that its latest installment of Disney Infinity had quickly topped the $200 million sales mark and become the leader in the so-called Toys to Life category. A month ago, Disney pledged to make Disney Infinity 3.0 its biggest game ever via downloadable content, but the underlying message many walked away with was the company had decided not to make a new version of the game this year. The previous month, Disney had announced it would skip E3, the video game industry's annual trade show, which I guess is something to look out for. Things are going to shutter. The Toys to Life business, blah, 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 blah.
So, Terrence, you seemed very surprised. I'm just curious, have you ever played the game?
I've never played it, but I do have friends who have kids that play it, and they said they like it. So I was a little surprised by it.
You can come over and play it.
Yeah, we have it.
For me, it was very hard to play.
Really?
There's hardly
doesn't-
any instructions, and
Yeah.
it's very. You can do. Turn the stupid music off. You can do. You can like build stuff. You
Okay.
build a lot of things, which is cool.
Right.
But it's I don't know how to describe it. I wish it was more modular, I suppose, where
Okay.
you know, I don't want to just construct a bunch of walls and that kind of thing. Like give me a house already made. Give me a
Right.
bunch of different versions of a house that I could buy.
What's the name of that?
And then maybe do like in Second Life you could do that.
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
buy a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
or whatever. But I don't know, I thought it was too technical.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff you can do that you don't have to, you know, build your own world or build your own reality. You can build your own game. You can download other people's games and play them.
Huh. Okay.
But the graphics weren't all that cool. I mean, considering that, you know, we're playing games like
Call of Duty. And stuff
Call
like
of
that,
Duty,
yeah.
Battlefront,
Right,
Overwatch. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch
Right,
from
right,
Blizzard.
right.
All these kind of games, Destiny, high power graphic
Right,
games.
right.
You could do. Even Epic Mickey was kind of.
Epic Mickey had great graphics.
I liked that game.
I didn't think it had great graphics at all. It was very
Really?
blocky.
I didn't think so.
But
I thought it was good for what it was, for what kind of a game it was.
It was fine.
Right.
Tara and I played the game. We liked it.
Right.
To an extent. But even then, that was kind of hard. For me, I got lost really easy. I have no idea where I am.
Okay,
And I play
okay.
games probably too much.
Okay.
So it was very weird. But I think that's the kind of graphics they're going for, is the kind of not super highly textured
Right.
style,
I guess I
maybe to
understand
appeal
that
more
then, yeah.
for you know, for children.
For
Let's
kids,
keep that
yeah.
in mind. Yeah. So
Okay.
where'd it go? The toy to life business is a changing business, and we did not have enough confidence in that business in terms of it being stable enough to stay in it from a self-publishing perspective, said Robert Iger, Disney's chairman and CEO, on a recent earnings call. We knew going in there would be a lot of risk with this product, and the fact that we did so well initially gave us the confidence to continue with it. The truth of the matter is that the risk that we cited at the beginning when we went into this caught up with us. Analysts put it a bit more succinctly. Now that the category is showing suspicious growth, I think they thought, hey, let's get out of here before it gets ugly, says Michael Hickey of the Benchmark Company. Roughly 300 jobs will be impacted with this closure. While Disney will no longer make its own video games, it does plan to continue licensing its properties to other developers, much like it did with Star Wars, to license to Electronic Arts. Apparently there's going to be 2 more releases of the Disney Infinity, and you can now... The little figures are down to like $8 a piece.
Wow. Okay.
And instead of like there were 14, which I
Yeah.
thought was like, God, that's a lot.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
All right.
Not surprising, because after playing it, it's like, I don't know. I didn't get into it. And now we have the thing, and it's like, all right, I don't know what to do.
Have a yard sale.
Have a yard sale, man. Big old fat yard sale. Let's see. What other news? Oh, good. Shockwave crashed. All right. Disney becomes the fastest studio ever to reach $1 billion domestic in 1 year, thanks to Zootopia, Jungle Book, and Captain America: Civil War. They reached the 1 billion domestic mark in 128 days, which is 37 days faster than Universal's record last year, which came when the studio grossed $1 billion in 165 days. The Captain America movie, which came out last Friday, also pushed Disney past the $3 billion mark globally.
Goodness. I haven't seen that.
Neither have I. So the next show, we're going to have Anthony on, my cousin Anthony,
Right.
my nephew Anthony, talk about Marvel and kind of that movie and where it's going.
Kanye.
Yeah. He actually is going to join us in the Imagineering. So,
nice.
yeah, our next show, we're going to sort of revamp either old rides that don't exist anymore or current rides that just need a little refresher. Why not? And so I put it to Kanye, and he was like, yeah, I'll do that.
I love that we call him Kanye.
So that'll be cool. That'll be fun for fans of Kanye out there. Let's see. The Walt Disney, I basically just read all the I haven't seen the Jungle Book. I hear it's cool. I hear it's good.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I heard some lady, I was in the waiting room for the doctor the other day, and this lady was talking way too loudly about how it's amazing, everything in that movie's real. Like the bees and the honey, it's all real. I don't know how they do it, because, you know, and then her friend's like, because animals don't talk. Yeah! Exactly! But it's all real. And then you just go online and you just look at like set photos.
Right.
And there's a picture of like dude's hands that are blue with like googly eyes on it.
It's CGI.
It's not real. Like, are you serious?
They put peanut butter in the lion's mouth, and
Yeah.
that's how he got his mouth to move.
Can you
The
imagine?
animals were so cuddly.
Can you imagine like filming a movie with a real puma or a leopard or whatever,
Right.
whatever the thing is, or a real bear
A
and
black
real bees.
bear.
What are you gonna
Right.
get bees to do? Are you stupid? Are you an idiot? I hope you're here for a lobotomy because that's the. Sorry.
Oh.
Apologies about that. I haven't seen Civil War either. But I hear it's real good. We tried to see Zootopia, but the projector broke. So yeah, we went to the drive-in with a bunch of friends, and first of all, they started playing the movie before the sun had set.
Oh, boo.
Oh.
So I saw I heard like the music playing, and we're like, "What's going on?" And you kind of squint at the screen, and you can sort of see
Right.
movement. I'm like, "This can't." So the first 5 minutes, I have no idea what was happening,
Rude.
but I heard it. And then as it goes and goes and goes, it gets darker, and then the thing gets brighter, and then it just stops. And then maybe 4 seconds later, it comes on. Ladies and gentlemen, the projector has been broken. While we don't anticipate it will be up later this evening, but if you would like to wait, you're more than welcome to do so. Please report to the front for refunds. It's like, are you not even going to try to fix it? There's no like,
So I'm
hey,
wondering-
everybody, we're really sorry about that.
So I wonder, like, who in the projection room, like, spilled their coffee on me.
Yeah.
My theory, I mean, this place isn't really well run. There was 2 people running the show.
I know,
I know which one you're
drive-in
talking
you
about.
went to. I've
Yeah.
been
I know
there.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's terrible, but whatever. Anyway, $1 billion, dude, in 128 days,
Not bad.
which is weird. And
2,000 of that's mine.
well, and this is interesting too. This will probably be the last story, and then we'll get out of here. That Shanghai Disney we mentioned earlier, it has they had a soft opening already. There's no rides open, but at least I don't think so. But you can go all the shops and do all the things, and you can buy stuff, which is great because they need to recoup. Apparently, domestic Disney parks are reportedly suffering financial issues due to Shanghai Disney. Shanghai Disneyland is currently scheduled to open in June of this year, excuse me, and will be the first mainland China Disney resort. Right now, the gigantic park is hoping for that opening, but some financial issues and delays may cause that to be pushed back a bit. Well, reports are now coming out that the amount of money being spent to build Shanghai Disneyland are causing financial issues at domestic parks, Walt Disney World and Disneyland. An unconfirmed report states that Shanghai Disney is so far over budget and behind schedule that money is most likely going to come from cost-cutting measures at the domestic theme parks. The report states that the Disneyland Resort in California has seen a 20% cut in labor costs as the beginning of February.
Did they not remember this from Euro Disney opening? This is
Apparently
the
not.
same thing that happened.
Apparently not. Those cuts came from non-profit locations that include entertainment, custodial attractions, guest relations, and numerous others. In Florida, Disney World has seen similar cuts in the past couple of weeks, as other locations are also seeing downsizing. Some of those locations include Walt Disney Resort Hotel curbside greeters, character meet and greets. 3 at Epcot are shuttered, 1 at Magic Kingdom so far. Front desk and concierge cast members will only be offered 32 hours a week instead of 40. There are reportedly other locations that will also begin to see cutbacks, but a full list is not yet known. I've also heard that, and of course, since Shockwave crashed, I can't know what's going on, that a lot of the Painters Union folks have been fired too.
Wow.
This is where I'm going to go ahead and jump in. We ate at Rancho D.
Yeah.
And
Rancho D.
Rancho de Zocalo.
Oh, okay.
She's trying to be cool.
I was going to call it like RDZ, but I didn't think like
Yeah, just say the name.
Rit.
Yeah.
So I always like stumble. Whatever. Anyway,
Great.
we ate there.
Okay.
The quality of food is different.
No, don't say it. Come on.
The burrito was
Come on.
probably 2/3 the size it used to be.
No.
I swear. Sam was like, this seems to be bigger. Like we could share it. We did not share it. My favorite chicken Caesar salad was weird. Chicken didn't taste like it normally did. It tasted like Tyson? Like it had been pre-cooked.
I think it's all pretty good. Yeah.
They used to have it out of a piece of wax paper that was sitting in a steamer and plopped it on my lettuce. Like I've never seen them do that before. They used to give you chips with it.
Yeah.
They didn't give any chips with it.
Really?
Yeah. It was very different. Like we had before I knew anything about this. We had this conversation at the table. It was like this is strange. Like
It's
This
weird.
is not how it was
Yeah.
6 or 8 months ago, or however long it was the last time we went.
China's still getting all of the money.
It was very odd, very, very odd.
That's strange.
I also feel,
Yeah,
I
go
just
ahead.
also saying that I feel like the souvenirs are all a little bit more expensive than they were. Like the mugs all average like $20.
Wow.
And I used to pay like 12. I usually get a mug every time I go, like 12 to 14.
Right.
$21 for a chip mug from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
And
I
I
love
picked it
that
up and I was
one.
like, oh, I want this. And I looked at the person and I was like, I don't want this.
It's already broken.
Yeah.
It should be a discount.
It was very, very odd.
Wow.
Quick question about that: if all of the things from Beauty and the Beast were turned back into animals and humans, and Chip has a chip in his head,
It's just a scar. He just probably
is
fell
that
down.
what it is? I've always wondered that. I was like, this is like a flesh wound or something. What's going on?
Yeah, you know,
Anyway.
it's the equivalent of a steel plate.
Right there we go.
Terrible.
Here's another one about what's going on in Shanghai Disney. Let's see. Still a month away from its official opening, Walt Disney Company's latest theme park resort in Shanghai is already a popular destination, attracting thousands of Chinese. A Disney store, the biggest park-operated retail shop in Asia, and restaurants in a public commercial strip of the Shanghai Disney Resort opened on Saturday to long lines. Locals flocked to the area to stroll around its artificial lake. I like how they had to add that artificial. Like, really?
Yeah.
Do you not know that it's artificial?
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, and snap pictures with a, I'm going to add artificial fountain sculpture of Mickey Mouse on an artificial steam. Like, come on. Disney also began trial operations for the park. It's 6th worldwide and 1st in mainland China, yada, yada, yada. Here's a quote. I remember watching Mickey Mouse cartoons when I was young, so it's quite exciting to see Disneyland for real, said Wang Yidan, a 30-year-old technician who bought a Mickey Mouse hat for $15 at the World of Disney store for his daughter. There you go, Bev. It's done up quite intricately, and it's something different to bring her compared with the parks and zoos elsewhere in China. Well, yeah, it's a Mickey Mouse hat. Since the metro station for the Disney grounds opened 2 weeks ago in Shanghai's Pudong district, the area has become a popular destination ahead of the resort's June 16th debut. The world's largest entertainment company is banking on 330 million Chinese living within 3 hours of the site to pay for the visit to the $5.5 billion resort. China's government, in turn, is relying on increased consumer spending to boost an economy growing at the slowest pace in 25 years. I feel real bad for them. The theme park is expected to attract 15 million visitors annually in the short term and raise demand for travel in Shanghai. International Capital Corporation analysts led by an estimated 30,000 visitors were at the resort on Sunday, while 10,000 employees, their relatives, and other invited guests were allowed into the theme park for its trial run on Saturday. This article, man, is from Bloomberg. It's really crazy. It goes, theme park for its trial run on Saturday. The state-owned Shanghai Daily reported Monday without citing any sources. It's like they're tattling on them.
Yeah, I know.
It's very weird. The enthusiasm that we have seen before the park has even opened is surprising, said Elliot Weiss, a University of Virginia business professor who is teaching a course in Shanghai and wrote a case study on Disney's entry into China. It's probably a combination of the strength of the Disney brand and the changing structure of the Chinese economy, where the middle-class consumer is rising and showing a preference for Western brands. Over the weekend, visitors posed for photos among well-tended lawns and shrubs crowded along the strip known as Disney Town. Blah, blah, blah. Among the crowds, some held tickets to enter the 963-acre park and try out rides. Apparently, there were rides running as part of Shanghai Disney's 6-week trial run. Blah, blah, blah. For 78-year-old retiree Wang Jingmao, the visit gives him a glimpse of America. It opens the eyes of old people and young people to see something like this, said Wang, who traveled an hour on the subway to get into the park. Wow. It shows the importance of China that something like this has come to us, and we don't have to go out to see it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently people are scratching their names in the light posts and
so crazy,
littering and just trashing the place. So that's interesting. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Take a break. For you live folks, we'll be right back.
Just gonna say BRB.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not only were you going to say it, but you did.
I know. I did.
That's weird. All right, it's time for the fact of the show. Bev needs to take a nap.
I do.
In the early days of constructing the rivers of America, Walt and his engine. Strangely enough, this is not about the Haunted Mansion, which I've done like 12 of those. In the early days of constructing the rivers of America, Walt and his engineers were excited to finally be able to fill that river with water. However, after just a few days, most of the water had drained out because the substance they used to seal the river bottom was not functioning as intended. So they had to scramble for a new method of sealant, which ended up being clay, of all things, and then clean and refinish the seal and then fill the thing back up with water. And they're scrambling, right? Because they just started construction, I don't know, in 54.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I'm reading a lot about the construction. I got a really good fact of the show for the next show, for the coming up show. It's about Walt's. It addresses the rumor or the myth or the story behind when Walt planned Disneyland.
Yeah, where he got the.
Yeah. So
okay,
stay tuned. Whatever. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun, everybody. Mickey, Billy, thank you very much, you guys, for coming in. I appreciate that.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you to Jeremy from Spectro Radio. You can go check him out. I think it's spectroradio.us.
Yes, it is.
All right. And then, all the other stuff that we do, I don't know, do that. Or not. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, until next time, see you in the parks.